Welcome to My SoberTruth, the podcast where we talk about the issues that are holding you back from flourishing in your life. This is where we break the chains of fear and resentment while learning to live in gratitude, how to stay focused and keep your life on a positive track even in the face of adversity. I'm your host, Sean Smith Sr., so grab yourself a cup of coffee and stay tuned as we dig in deep on these tough issues and we try to help you find your sober truth. I woke up with a startle, still in the midst of a dazed and confused hangover. It wasn't a Sunday morning hangover like most people have after a well-deserved Saturday night of drinking and fun with friends. No, this was a much darker place to be. As I blinked to try and get my eyes to adjust so I could try and figure out where I was, I started to realize that this nightmare was still playing out in my life. I didn't die during the night, which was what I wished for every night before drinking myself into blackout oblivion. As I started coming to, I recognized where I was. It was a dirty, broken down bed with no sheets on it. The sheets had been stripped long ago after they became more gross than a drunk of my caliber could bear. This was my house, but it wasn't my bed. I was in the guest bedroom, which was where I would wander when I was in a blackout. I never really figured out why I started sleeping it off in that back bedroom, other than the fact that my bedroom was filthy, and now so was this one. As I lay there on my back, the mental fog started to lift just enough for the fear and self-loathing to start creeping in. I started to wonder what I had done the night before and who I might have done something wrong to. I was a 42-year-old absolute wreck of a human being, and I desperately wanted to die. I sat up in bed and looked at the empty half-gallon vodka bottle next to a loaded 9mm pistol on the bedside table. I sat there for a long time looking at those two things. I knew that I needed one or the other of them. I either had to figure out a way to get more alcohol, or I needed to just do the world a favor and end it all. I'd pondered suicide many times in life, but I don't think I ever came closer to doing it than I did that morning. It seemed like the only real solution. I had tried time and time again to stop drinking and using drugs, and it had worked every time. I would stop my drinking career for a while, and my life would start to improve, but for some reason, I could never really link the two things up in my mind and heart. I knew I drank too much, and that led to drug use and other self-sabotaging actions, but for some reason in my mind, it was always someone or something else's fault. The addiction was never the real culprit. I sat in silence for a long while pondering suicide or keeping on doing the same things but desperately wanting a different result. But eventually, it came to me that maybe there was a third option. Ask for help. I had proven to myself time and time again that I could not stop the circle of addictive behavior on my own. I would always circle around and start back down the road to oblivion again. Hello, my friends. Sean Smith here, and I want to welcome you to the My SoberTruth podcast. In this podcast, we will be exploring the problems that we have in our lives that may be attributed to our addictive behaviors. We'll be talking about the answers we have found to help us get to the next level of life, the actions that work for us on a daily basis to keep on moving forward and make the best lives we can for ourselves, lives that we do not want to go back from. This is going to be a team effort through our podcasts, our blogs, our interviews, and so much more to come. During the last year and a half, while COVID has interrupted our world, those of us in recovery have had to look for different means of staying in communication with our teams of like-minded people. Those of you who may not be involved in a form of recovery but have had support systems in place may also have had to look for other means of staying connected. This podcast, along with interviews, website, and social media platforms, will be a way for us to stay in touch and communicate about whatever issues we are having. It will be a medium for our experience, strength, and hope to reach out across the world and be a helping hand when folks like us need a helping hand, or maybe just an ear to listen. As we are in our launch phase or thereafter, please give us a listen and then leave us a comment. If you like what you hear and think it might help others, please share us with your friends as we try to build this community. The goal is to have interviews with different folks about a lot of different subjects. Some of these interviews might be with experts, and others will be with regular folks just like you who have a story to share. Please drop us a line if you are interested in being interviewed. You'll find the link to our website down in the show notes. Hopefully, this is a start of a new community of like-minded people to come together, and we can all help each other to find My Sober Truth. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.